जीवन्मुक्तिप्रदं देवं क्षमापूर्णं जगद्गुरुं वन्दे परमहंसाख्यं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतं। जीवन्मुक्तिप्रदं देवं क्षमापूर्णं जगद्गुरुं वन्दे परमहंसाख्यं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम्। आनन्दानुभवास्वादं सर्वरोगनिवारकं वन्दे पापविनाशक्तं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम्। आनन्दानुभवास्वादं सर्वरोगनिवारकं वन्दे पापविनाशक्तं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम्। नित्यमुक्तं निर्विकल्पं ध्यानलोकप्रदीपकम्।
పరమహంస నిత్యానంద ఈ శతాబ్దపు మరువలేని పోలికలేని ఒక ఆధ్యాత్మిక శక్తి, ఒక అంతర్జాతీయ సాంఘిక ఆధ్యాత్మిక ప్రభంజనాన్ని స్థాపించిన ఒక అద్భుత శక్తి, వైదిక ధర్మాన్ని పునరుద్ధరించడానికి ఉద్భవించిన ఒక చైతన్య శక్తి. ఆయన అతి పవిత్రమైన తిరువణ్ణామలై క్షేత్రంలో జన్మించారు. ఒక యోగిగా జన్మించి తనలో సహజంగానే పొంగిపొర్లే ఆధ్యాత్మికతను కోట్ల మందికి పంచుతూ స్ఫూర్తినిచ్చే ఒక అమోఘ శక్తి. అతి పురాతనమైన యోగా విద్యలో ప్రావీణ్యం కలిగి ఆధ్యాత్మిక శాస్త్రాన్ని క్షుణ్ణంగా పరిశోధన చేసిన ఒక మహాద్భుతమైన అంతఃప్రపంచపు పరిశోధకులు, ఆత్మజ్ఞానాన్ని ప్రసాదించే గురువులు. ప్రతి సంవత్సరం పరమహంస నిత్యానంద ఆయన జ్ఞానామృతాన్ని, ఆనందం వెదజల్లే ఆయన చిరునవ్వుని, తిరుగులేని ఆయన దీక్ష యొక్క శక్తిని 1 కోటికి పైగా ఉన్న ఆయన శిష్యులకు పంచుతున్నారు. ఇప్పుడు పరమహంస నిత్యానంద మీరు జీవన్ముక్తులుగా జీవించటానికి తోడ్పడే పరిష్కారాలను మీకు అందజేస్తున్నారు. ఒక మరువలేని ఆధ్యాత్మిక అనుభవం కొరకు మమ్మల్ని వెంటనే సంప్రదించండి.
వందే సనాతనం పుణ్యం నిత్యానందాయ స్వాగతం. సర్వధర్మ ప్రణేతారం సచ్చిదానంద రూపిణం వందే సనాతనం పుణ్యం నిత్యానందాయ స్వాగతం. వేద వేదాంత సంవేద్యం దేవదేవీ స్వరూపిణం వందే వటపలాశిస్థం.
Many times you don't even know why this problem is continue to exist. There is no reason. There is no big pattern. There is no big engram. It is there just because it is not attended. Go to the root of the pattern. Deeper and deeper and deeper. Root of the problem. First, many problems will boil down, melt down into few patterns. Then that few patterns will melt down to one pattern. Then suddenly you will see that pattern also does not have a reason to exist. Even that will not be there. So now, Bhagavan is reducing Arjuna's too many problems into one pattern, so that he can blow it away. He can finish it off in one go. Let's see how Bhagavan is awakening Arjuna, bringing him down. Bhagavan is talking about the origin of this science. Now he is giving introduction to this whole science, because Arjuna must have been with a doubt. Are you teaching something on your own to me? Just because you want me to fight? No, many disciples have this doubt. Maybe he is talking something, whatever he comes to his mouth, because we have to work. So Bhagavan is giving the reference, no, this is the most ancient truths, sacred secrets. And Bhagavan is also clarifying. See, you have 2 doubts. One, maybe he is teaching something on his own to make us do whatever he wants us to do. Another doubt, maybe he is copying from somebody earlier. He is not telling something original. See, both No, this is the biggest problem. These are all the methods human minds avoid masters and their teaching. Now Bhagavan is answering both the problems. This is the oldest sacred secrets, truths practiced by humanity. Second, even when it was oldest, it is me who has revealed. So he is answering both the problems. Bhagavan is answering the problem of, is it time tested, foolproof? He says, yes. Surya taught to Manu, Manu to Ikshvaku, means oldest life science, oldest process of inner awakening. Then he is answering the next problem. Then you are repeating the same thing like a parrot. It is not your experience. Bhagavan is saying, no. Even the first time, thousands of years before, it is from my experience I repeated. I expressed. It is my experience and the oldest process of inner awakening. What a problem, you see. How difficult to handle human beings. Because they have answer for everything. They have some way to push the master aside in every possible way. They say, you do anything you want, but let us keep 10-meter distance. You tell whatever you want from there itself, we will leave whatever we want from here itself. Non-understanding. I tell you, you are in mess. This undecaying science of intense action, I narrated to Vivaswan. Bhagavan very clearly says, this science, he himself narrated to Sun God, who said it fully to Manu, who in turn narrated it to Ikshvaku. Through this verse, Bhagavan is clarifying two things. One, the truths, the science of inner awakening which he is teaching is time-tested, foolproof, ancient, authentic. Second thing is clarifying, it is his own personal experience. It is from his very self. It is from himself, directly expressed. Krishna and Sun God, both of them are lost in time for us. Both of them are thousands of years old. So we don't have any problem in believing. Krishna only taught to Sun. But at that moment, it is not easy to believe. When Krishna says, Krishna is 33-year-old man sitting. When he taught Bhagavad Gita, he was 33. 33-year-old man saying, hey, I taught this to the Sun God, who is millions of years older than him. That is why I say Krishna is my personal hero. I admire his realization about himself and his courage to express it in the words and his honesty with his experience. God. Beautifully Bhagavan is explaining and expressing, saying that he gave this science millions of years before to Manu, to Vivaswan. Vivaswan is Sun God. From Sun God came to Manu. Here Bhagavan is describing to Arjuna, I gave this science of inner awakening to Sun God, to Vivaswan. It really needs courage and guts. But on ultimate thing, the amazing thing, Arjuna trusted. He is not the guy who will trust. I don't know whether Arjuna's logic has become tired and he trusted, or he said, all right, let me tolerate, otherwise he will give one more philosophy for this also. I don't want any of that now. Let me just keep quiet. Arjuna trusts. When Krishna said, I am the one who taught this science. I tell you, you cannot learn spiritual knowledge from husband or wife or close friend. I have seen any spiritual things, if husband tells or wife tells, no. The truth may be right, but you are wrong. You cannot be right. Same way, close friend. Hey, I know you out and out. Arjuna may be thinking, you fellow, you are such a womanizer and you do everything. How can you teach me all these great science of enlightenment, inner awakening, jnana, karma, sannyasa? Something is wrong. Either you are repeating from some scripture or you are telling something on your own to make me do. How to handle this cunning creativity? That's what exact word I have to use. Cunning creativity. Creativity not in the right sense, with cunningness. Bhagavan is handling it very beautifully, saying, it is the oldest sacred secret, the inner science of inner awakening. Then he says, it is my own experience. It is from my very inner space.
కల్పతరు మీలోని కుండలిని శక్తిని తెలుసుకోగల ఒక ప్రత్యేక కార్యక్రమము కల్పతరు. పూర్తిగా ఒకరోజు జరిగే ఈ కార్యక్రమములో ఆరోగ్యకరమైన అద్భుతమైన మార్పును పొందగలరు. అవతారమూర్తి పరమహంస నిత్యానంద స్వామి వారి ఆశీస్సులను ప్రత్యేకంగా పొందగల కార్యక్రమం కల్పతరు. కుండలిని అంటే ఏమిటి? కుండలిని అంటే ప్రతి ఒక్కరిలోనూ దాగి ఉన్న అద్భుత శక్తి. కుండలిని శక్తి ఒక ధ్యానోదయమైన గురుదేవుల దీక్షతో చైతన్యపరచవచ్చు. ఈ కుండలిని శక్తి మీ జీవితంలో అన్ని దశలలోనూ అభివృద్ధికరమైన మార్పులను తేగలిగే శక్తి. అది మీలో ఆరోగ్యాన్ని, ఐశ్వర్యాన్ని, విజయాన్ని, ఆనందాన్ని, ఆధ్యాత్మిక ధ్యానోదయాన్ని కలిగిస్తుంది. ప్రతి వారాంతములో కల్పతరు కార్యక్రమం బిడిది ఆశ్రమంలో నిర్వహించబడును. మమ్మల్ని సంప్రదించవలసిన చిరునామా నిత్యానంద ధ్యానపీఠం, నిత్యానంద నగర్, బిడది 562109, బెంగళూరు. ఫోన్ చేయవలసిన నంబరు 095500000550 లేదా 096185190701. మా వెబ్సైట్ www.nithyananda.org.
Bhagavan is giving the spiritual and secular instruction together in one form, in one sloka. If he speaks secular, Arjuna gets frightened. If he speaks spiritual, Arjuna does not understand. If he speaks secular, Arjuna gets frightened. Now, Bhagavan has to mix both and give in one instruction what to do in the inner and outer world, so that Arjuna is convinced what he is doing is directly in accordance with the spirituality. Beautifully, Bhagavan is putting the word Jahishatrum Mahabhago Kamarupam Durasatam. I tell you, this is one important sacred secret you need to know. Whenever you are working out of greed, tiredness for the work happens. See, Arjuna's greed for the throne and Arjuna does not want to fight. Both are from same root. You may think, what is this? That's the truth. When you have the greed for the throne, your mind is visualizing. When you sit in the throne, how the people are going to be standing next to you and serving you, how your command is going to be executed, how all pretty women are going to be serving you, how the whole kingdom is going to be. It's a whole fantasy game. But in reality, before sitting the throne, you need to fight, conquer, which is little away from your fantasy. That is why I am telling you, all goals are away from the path. So any fantasy about any goal moves you away from the path, makes the path distaste, makes the path unenjoyable, makes the path boring, dull. And not only that, greed always creates a friction in you. You hate that pattern. That pattern you feel The moment it comes itself, you feel that tamarind taste. I tell you the taste of each emotion. Joy, little sugarish, but not sweet. Greed, the tamarind taste. Hatred, green chili taste. Guilt, red chili, gongura chutney taste. But the tastes have nothing to do with the emotion. Don't think if you eat the sweet you will have the joy. No, no. Tastes have nothing to do with the emotion, but each emotion has a taste. Desire, by its very nature, the taste it creates becomes very non-digestible. If you are having desire for some object or person or money and unable to work to achieve that, be very clear, both patterns are from same root. Bhagavan is saying, thus recognizing the preeminence of discrimination means the importance, superiority of discrimination, having strengthened your capacity to reside in consciousness, having strengthened your ability to make decisions from consciousness. Oh, mighty armed one, destroy the conqueror in the form of desire that is difficult to be accomplished. Bhagavan is giving both instructions together. Destroy your desire and the enemies. He says, you conquering your desires and destroying your enemies are not two separate actions. Through both actions are from same root and both will happen simultaneously. I have seen many times when I tell some disciple to come out of some outer world difficulty, by the time he comes out, he has come out of inner world difficulty also.
ఒక అవతార పురుషుని దివ్య సలహాను నేరుగా పొందాలనుకుంటున్నారా? ఇప్పుడు మీకు పరమహంసతో ముఖాముఖి.
Nithyananda here.
పరమహంస నిత్యానంద మరొక్కసారి పోలిక లేని ఒక విభిన్నమైన కానుకను ప్రపంచానికి అందచేస్తున్నారు. ఆయన ఇప్పుడు ప్రతిరోజు ఉదయం ప్రత్యక్ష ప్రసారమయ్యే సత్సంగంలో మీ ప్రశ్నలకి జవాబు ఇవ్వడానికి సిద్ధముగా ఉన్నారు.
No, you ask anything you want in your life. Ask me any boon you want.
ఉదయం 8 గంటలకు మా నంబరు 08027279999కి ఫోన్ చేసే అదృష్టవంతులకు ఆయనతో నేరుగా మాట్లాడే దివ్యమైన అవకాశం దక్కుతుంది. మరియు ఉదయం ప్రత్యక్ష ప్రసారమయ్యే సత్సంగం ntv.nithyananda.orgలో చూడగలరు.
When you are in a crisis and you handle it well with a spiritual solution and come out of it, not only your outer crisis is solved, I tell you, inside also you are transformed. Some big inner blockage is broken, you are clean. A person who is learning should be put in all possible difficulty. Only then he will respect knowledge. When you are interested in something, you should be put in all possible difficulty, then automatically taking it for granted will not happen. Whether it is knowledge or money or master's presence or enlightenment. If everything is comfortable, cozy, in few days you take things for granted. How the mind creates laziness. How the mind creates self-created difficulties. When there is no difficulty outside, you create one inside. When there is difficulty created outside, when you conquer that and crash, you crash a strong engram inside. That is why I am telling you, constantly be in crisis. Go on attending, solving the crisis. In Tamil there is a proverb. One sadhu used to constantly repeat that to me. Nityagandam Purnayusu. It means eternally you should be in crisis. So you will live forever. That sadhu physically working, he cleaned 2 temple tanks in Tiruvannamalai. Physically working, he cleaned and built without any help or money from anybody. Later on people started giving money, and with that money he built many other tanks and temples. His name was Muppanar, a great sadhu. Still his statue is there in Tiruvannamalai. When you go around the hill, there is a place where his statue is there, a great sadhu. Physically means with 1 or 2 instruments, tools, he will empty the mud, come out and put. Like that he cleaned, physically cleaned 2 temple tank in Tiruvannamalai. Of course not inside the temple, outside the temple. Tiruvannamalai temple has a 365 tanks owned by the temple around the hill. All 365 are owned by Arunachaleshwara temple. So physically he worked and cleaned both the tank. I used to ask him, why are you working in this age physically? He says, no, Nityagandam Purnayusu. And he lived more than 100. And please understand, till the last day he was working. When I first time saw him, he must be above 80. But around the 60 itself he started working. Every day he will clean the temple tank, 2 tank, full size temple tank, he cleaned and he built with the stones. He will chisel stones from the hill and make size and fix without any worker assistant or money. Maybe he would have spent 2 years in that. When people saw that, they started giving money and volunteering, assistance and all the other help they started giving. Then around the hill, he built more than 20 temples, repaired all the old temples and cleaned all the temple tanks. Today all the temple tanks which is standing and all the old temples which is standing is done by him. So whenever I cross him, not only me, anybody goes to him, this is his mantra. He will tell Nityagandam Purnayusu. Always put yourself, exert yourself, handling the crisis, solving the problems, be alive. I used to think, what this guy, 80 year, he can nicely lie down in the temple. People will give him food and clothes. What else is there in the life? He will say, no. When I ask him, sometimes I used to ask, why don't you lie down and rest? And he will tell, constantly you should be having the problems or creating one. See, when I say problems, I am not saying the difficulties you create by your wrong actions. No, not that. Difficulties you face when you create, by constantly creating. This sadhu did not do something wrong and created problems for himself. No. Constantly creating. It was such beautiful inspiration to see. When I met him, when I started seeing him and all, he started having assistants, but he himself will be physically working. He will be there. He will tie a rope like a parapet wall for him, hold that rope and walk the sand in his head and empty the tank physically, constantly facing difficult moments, conquering the outer situations, not only you come out in the outer world problems, many patterns inside breaks. If you are not taking up the responsibility and living, patterns inside won't break. It will be there. All those patterns will be there, just fresh. Patterns will be broken only when you handle outer world situations. So Bhagavan is giving a beautiful instruction. Mahabaho means mighty armed one. O Arjuna, establish yourself in consciousness, understand the power of discrimination, and conquer the desire and the enemies, both at a time. When you wage the war and destroy the enemies, you will come out of the desire to be a king also. Knowing the power of discrimination and staying in consciousness, Mahabaho, Arjuna, conquer the desire and the enemies. It's a straight instruction. I can say, straight instruction for all of you. The sacred secret you need to understand from this is, constantly be courageous, take decision from consciousness, and go on solving your outer world crisis. Go on solving your outer world problems. Don't be tired. Don't relax. No retirement in cosmos. There's no question of retirement. Not only you will be solving the outer world problems, you will create a beautiful inner space where all patterns are broken and you are liberated. So with this sloka, the third chapter ends.
కల్పతరు. మీ జీవితం నుంచి మానసిక ఒత్తిడిని దూరం చేసుకోండి. మీ పనితనాన్ని మెరుగుపరుచుకోండి. మీ తెలివితేటలని, నిర్ణయాలు తీసుకొనుటకు తోడ్పడే వివేకాన్ని పెంచుకోండి. కల్పతరు ఒక విశిష్టమైన ఒక్కరోజు కార్యక్రమం. అవతార పురుషులైన పరమహంస నిత్యానంద స్వామివారి హీలింగ్ మరియు దీవెనలను అందుకునే ఒక అద్భుత అవకాశం. ప్రతి వారాంతములో కల్పతరు కార్యక్రమం బిడది ఆశ్రమంలో నిర్వహించబడును. మమ్మల్ని సంప్రదించవలసిన చిరునామా: నిత్యానంద ధ్యానపీఠం, నిత్యానంద నగర్, బిడది 562109, బెంగళూరు. ఫోన్ చేయవలసిన నంబరు 095100000550 లేదా 096185190701. మా వెబ్సైట్ www.nithyananda.org.